the shadow of the trial that never came, whispers linger, no one's to blame. Mo and Shizzy light the night, snorking documents in plain sight. Pages rustle, secrets creep, what they buried won't stay asleep. Questions echo, sharp and clear. Mo and Shizzy, truth is here. From the silence, doubts arise. We're reading facts, not alibis.
Warning, this is not a case that either Mo or Shizzy followed. We were waiting for the trial to see the evidence in the case. As BK confessed, we are looking into the casework that led to BK being the primary suspect. Don't say you weren't warned.
Definitely not.
And I worked hard on that because it's actually hard to get the audio timed up with. Look, my technical skills being what they are, it was a damn miracle that actually worked out.
Oh, I think that's a really good intro. I think that's a really good intro, and does describe exactly what we've got going on. Because I mean, a lot of people don't seem to understand that we didn't follow this case.
Yeah. But speaking of this case, I actually pulled two articles because there is breaking Idaho, 4 or Kohberger news today that just came out. So if you guys have been following or watching Mornings with Mo, you guys know that there's been a bit of a kerfuffle about whether Brian should be responsible for restitution. If so, how much? What does he have to cover? Things like that. And it looks like there was a ruling that did come down. Brian Kohberger must pay for the urns of 2 of the University of Idaho students that he killed, and Idaho state judge has ruled. Thursday's ruling comes after prosecutors asked a judge in a hearing last month to require the convicted killer to pay $3,000 to reimburse the families of Kaylee Goncalves and Maddie Mogan for the urns carrying their ashes. Now, Kohberger, we know the stuff, he was set to go to trial. Now, the kerfuffle started when Kohberger's attorneys argued that he didn't have the money to pay the additional restitution to the families, let alone the already agreed upon more than $30,000 in restitution that was required by his plea agreement. Now, there were different arguments as well as family members that had gotten GoFundMe funds to cover their expenses to go to the trial. And there was kind of issue about that. So that I do understand his defense attorneys bringing up.
Right.
But optically, they have to know that's a terrible look. And I get it. Ethically, you're required to advocate for your client, but this man is less popular than Spirit Airlines at this moment.
Yeah, that's pretty unpopular.
Herpes has a better ratings than him.
Yeah, you can take care of that a little bit quicker too.
Judge Stephen Hippler, good to note that it's a P and not a T because that'd be a whole different person.
Yeah.
Said in a written ruling that Kohberger can raise money through donations or a job in prison to cover the additional funeral cost. The judge noted that Kohberger amassed nearly $29,000 from several hundred donations since his arrest in a case that drew national attention. I know freedom of association, but are these people that wrote him and sent him money on a list?
No, I mean they should be though. I mean,
Listen,
I mean I understand it's probably going to be pretty rough on him for one, deleting 2 females, but
no,
to
3 of the.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, 3. I was 3 females and a guy. And this right here is not going to sit well. How about getting your herpes on a bathroom on Spirit Airlines flight? Ooh, that would be not too tasty. I have a hard time
If he thought
eating.
he had Gen Pop, issues and had to keep his head on a swivel before, a lot of these dudes don't like when you go for innocence. I mean, there is such a thing as honor among criminals,
Yeah.
and there are certain things that they do not tolerate.
Yeah, that would be one of them. It's on the lower spectrum. I think the first one is the kids. Second one is
Yeah. Well, so basically, he has amassed nearly all the money he would need to pay the original restitution fees. Now, I understand that his Honey Bun account would be drained,
not my
but
problem.
the taxpayers are now required to see to his basic needs.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need extra honey buns. Isn't he a vegan? Are honey buns even vegan?
Well, I mean, it's not really the honey buns he needs. He needs it for his buns so they can call him honey.
Pretty well, or at least a good marker. Would it be wrong to send permanent markers to his fellow cellies to, draw whatever they want on? Okay, this is why I can't have. Actually, this is why you need to elect me as president. 2028. We've elected worse.
Yeah. I mean,
Vote for Mo.
vote for Maho. And Kohberger won't be getting any hand jobs, I guarantee you.
No,
Might
there
be
will
giving
be
them.
there will be ISO cubes. Look, as I have always said, screw Geneva. I am making ISO cubes. I am linking them to chat, and between that and the Arkansas state troopers being allowed to, chase people and they can go free 1 day a month, and that being linked to chat, I mean,
I wonder if it would be possible to, do, how do you put that? Have him test a cryo chamber, so he can be
I am willing to
cryogenically.
test a good many number of medical things for the sake of humanity on this man.
I think that would be,
Which
allowed,
tagline
wouldn't it?
works better? Mo 2028, screw Geneva, this is America. Or Mo 2028, hell, we've elected worse.
Wasn't that in Wag the Dog or something like that?
I don't know.
Oh no, it was the one, oh God bless, what was the name of that? Where they and it was based on a true story where these insane people were doing ads for Volvo or something like that, or Saab, boxy but solid or something. That was one of them. Yeah, those guys could run your ad campaign.
Hey, I'm willing. I mean, if any are left after the files come out on December 19th.
$29,000 in a short period of time.
Yeah, so people were sending these funds to the defendant. While these funds may no longer be available to the defendant, if it is foreseeable that he will continue to receive donations in the future, particularly given that much of the donated amounts came from his family. In addition, there is no reason defendant cannot secure prison employment for remuneration. Given his limited needs in prison and his youth, it is foreseeable that through employment and donations, the defendant may receive sufficient amounts over his life to at least come close to meeting his financial obligations. So basically, the judge said, hard luck, Sally, get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in the second story that broke today, it does look like the Goncalves family is trying to sue Washington State University over Brian Kohberger's troubling behavior before the murders happened. As far as this having legs, Yes, there were 13 behavioral incidents where he was an essential douchebag, but they weren't douchebaggery of such a level or an escalation that I think the college would have had any authority to do anything more than what they did.
Right. Well, and that may be what they're looking for is just a settlement. Hey, Anna Maria, good to see you. That may be that they're just looking for it was crazy people. Yes, thank you. Crazy people. Yes, Daryl Hannah was in it. That's right. That's right. I forget that. That is because that is like I said, I think they're just looking for a settlement. Washington State University is probably just looking to say, and this way they can look like they actually attempting to do something. I mean, that would be, because I don't think it has any legs, and Washington State University may not also, but it'd be one way they could explain it to the school and the donors of just, we settled this lawsuit because it would just be long and drawn out.
So the Goncalves family is suing Washington State University, the school that Brian Kohberger attended when he took the life of their daughter, Kaylee Goncalves, and 3 of her friends. Brian Enton and News Nation reported that the Goncalves family is suing the Washington State University, seeking accountability and transparency regarding concerning behaviors exhibited by Kohberger prior to the murders. Now, complaints from classmates and faculty against Kohberger include stalking, spatially trapping.
Basically, what they're talking about is getting in people's space, like
Well, that's what I assumed, but I've never seen it put that way.
Well, it's a little more liberal in Washington.
Staring and aggression, ultimately leading to faculty being escorted to their cars and mandatory behavioral training for graduate students. Okay, if that is the case where it did lead and it was escalating, maybe they do have a case.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, of at least not. But there is that line at what point, because at what point do we get to that being pre-crime? And God, it kills me that it's a Tom Cruise movie that I actually like. I watch it in spite of that. If anyone can edit Kermit the Frog instead of Tom Cruise, I would love you. But, at what point are we punishing people in the fear, or are we tracking people in the fear of them potentially doing something?
Well, and
it kind of gets into red flag law kind of territory.
And that's the thing is they wouldn't have arrested him. They would have just booted him from the school. And they allowed it to continue. So that does become an issue. It'd be the same thing if I was, for example, stalking Mo at college, and she felt really uncomfortable and was like, listen, this guy's been following me around. Can you do something about it? And all they do is they say, well, we'll just have someone escort you out. And then they back off and they go about their life and do something else because they realize that you're not going to be an easy target. But it appears that that's not what happened in this case. Is he wasn't backing off, he was escalating, and at some point they should have,
Yeah. Now, some of the incidents involved Kohberger staring intensely, dominating conversations, blocking exits, and following or hovering over women at their offices or cars. These behaviors made many feel uncomfortable or safe. Yeah, at that point, if it's multiple people, and thank you so much, maybe not, for gifting 10 memberships.
Maybe
and those went to Tammy Bogard, maybe not. King Bob, Heidel, 1776, Rhea Romberg, Jay Liebgut. Look,
It's Libby.
Oh, Libby. Look, I'm just going to call you that until I forget that I'm going to call
Libby.
you that. And then I'm
It's
going to
Jay-
go
it's Jay
something
Libby.
foreign.
Yeah, it's Jay Libby. That's Just Dawn's husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
The other Denise, a Salty Dog 78, Wife Duck Kathy. Congratulations, welcome to the Church of Mo. Do what I say, not what I do. As my mother and pastor always say, it'll be okay. Repent on your deathbed. No, they don't ever say that. That's me saying that. And I don't know that I can come back and tell you guys how it worked out. So take that with a grain of salt.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a tally board was actually kept in a student office to track Kohberger's discriminatory comments and late arrivals. Some female students even went so far as to avoid being alone with him, and emails were sent with 911 subject lines expressing nervousness around his presence. 13 separate complaints were filed against Kohberger, who was fired from his teaching assistant position at WSU for behavioral issues. Now, the Gunklavy's family could be using the lawsuit's discovery process to gain access to university records, some of which are protected by FERPA laws. Well, I've heard of HIPAA, but not FERPA.
I've never
Too
heard
much
of
like
FERPA. Yes, it does.
They are now FUPA laws.
Well, I
which
mean,
are similar.
I would think that you know, on some of that stuff you can't show it. You really can't.
No, I do understand that. I figured they had a mechanism by which they would keep sensitive information. I just didn't think it would be FERPA, which sounds like the love child between a Sherpa and a Furby.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, if they made a toy of that, like a Furby and a Sherpa outfit, I would totally buy it.
Well, you could make one.
Mr. Mo still hasn't recovered from my Hank Brennan puppet. Speaking of red flag laws, I'm going to need to not have one of those.
Oh my gosh.
Now, it isn't clear yet whether the families of the other victims will be joining this lawsuit. Now, having only been kind of a 50,000-foot observer, I will say the Gunklavy's family seems to have been the most prominent of the victim's family. Just kind of in my passing, because I was trying to wait for the trial, but in my passing kind of keeping up with the trial through Mornings with Mo, they did seem to be the family, or at least the dad seemed to be
The most
one of the
vocal.
ones that I frequently saw on television.
Well, and probably because they were easy to talk with and easy to talk to, and they didn't dig too far into it, or because if you're too emotional, they can't get anything out of you. And if you're not emotional enough, it sounds like you're cold. So they probably hit that perfect balance.
Well, I do think that there were issues where, and to be very, very human and understanding to the father, there are things, he basically knew what we knew. So imagine we take our frustration at only learning about these things now. Imagine if it had been your child and the police are constantly telling you, look, we can't tell you, we can't tell you. So there was clear, animosity there. And look, most people don't nerd out watching trials, so don't know that they can't tell you these things, don't know that even if you are the parent, they can't tell you these things. So I understand how pissed he was. It's so human, and I get it.
Yeah.
And the process has to be hell for the families, but I think there were things where the police were like, please stop if we tell you things, you cannot give it to the media. And, Mr. Gunklavy's is over here. I will not allow you all to forget my daughter, to forget that this monster exists. And,
right.
and it's so human.
It is.
So, I can see this being a lawsuit that only this family pursues.
Yeah. And I mean, they were all, if I'm not mistaken, weren't they the ones that were a little upset for him not having trial?
I think they were the ones that felt very betrayed by it. And the prosecutor, said, "Look, I understand. Believe
Mhm.
me." And I think he was the perfect prosecutor, if you ask me. We might not get to documents where
No,
we
that's
haven't had
fine.
one of these in a while, so just kind of going over. I think if you had had a younger, less seasoned prosecutor, he might have let his ego get into him
Right.
and, take it personally that, some family is mad at him, or, it gave him the ability to make the hard choice
Right.
and to understand that whatever he chose, someone was going to be pissed, you know,
Yeah.
and, you know, th- he knows what he knows. And unfortunately, the victims' families didn't know because they haven't walked through it, is regardless of a trial, at the end of the day, that grief is still going to be there.
Right.
I'm, and it sucks. It sucks all the balls. I wish all the grief would go away once we throw this, douche canoe into prison.
Right. I mean, one thing that sort of really stuck with me through, any news reports that I was hearing, as soon as he was admitting to his crime, I think that there was a lot of families that were relieved, a lot of family members were relieved that he had backed out and not made them go through each gruesome detail in a trial. But I also think that they were, because a lot of those families were very relieved. And then other parts of those families were saying, we want it known what this guy did to show how horrible this person is. And I understand that also. But with him coming forward, it saved those families what could have easily cost them tons and tons of money. Not only Kohberger's family, because they would have been left with, hiring an attorney to handle all of this, another attorney to handle an appeals. And this could have
Well,
drug out for close to a decade before anybody
and
saw any
again,
justice.
another thing that the prosecutor knows that these victims' families, again, they think they know. I mean, they've been warned, and we did not go into the autopsy report. It just wasn't something. There are other channels that have. Feel free
Mhm.
to go to them. It just something. It's not what we wanted to glorify,
No.
and it's rough, y'all. You can look it up at your own, willingness, but
Yeah.
it's rough, you guys.
Yeah.
So, what the victims' families don't know, and what the prosecutor did know, was that the Emmy is going to go into graphic photograph evidence. And I, for one, as much as I was looking forward to the trial, am glad that the families were spared that, because it's one thing to intellectualize it,
Right.
but to actually sit through trials and watch, family members have to leave and things like that. It's a blessing, in my opinion, that the trial didn't go forward, and that there are, at least there is a responsibility taken.
Right. And that was, I think, a lot of people's feeling on that. I mean, my personal feeling would have loved to see him, spend as short a time in prison as possible, and all of eternity, not knowing any better. That's
Yeah.
where I was, is
I
a short time in prison and an eternity of hell's fire.
Yeah, that was my thing. And that's the other piece that a lot of people don't get, especially if they don't, geek out on trials, is that just because death penalty immediately sets you up for an appeal, immediately tacks on 20 years, where, you know, depending on where Idaho goes politically, I mean, you might get for 20 years, 15 years, like the Menendez brothers, you think they're going to go to the hereafter and they might now be eligible for parole. And you can't foresee that. But then there's the betrayal of, going from a death penalty to now Brian's got life with maybe without the possibility of parole, but nothing's to say legislatively that a super liberal government comes in and thinks that all life prison is abhorrent and a death is akin to the death sentence.
Right. And lets him out.
Yeah.
I mean, that there's a something that I heard about not too long ago. It was within the past few days, about a 9-year-old that violated a younger female and left her body in a field. She lived.
I saw that story and I refused to cover it because I was
No,
already losing
and it was,
my mind.
and you sit there and you go, this is a 9-year-old. Their brain isn't developed. And the judge is going, I'm going to ensure that we have someone go and investigate what's going on in this household. Because in what world does a 9-year-old child do something like that?
Yeah. And here's the other thing. We can get answers and keep us safe.
Right.
For the love of God, America, could we find a happy medium? Not throw away the baby with the bathwater in certain cases, and keep us safe and stop whining about criminal rights. Look, we have compassion fatigue.
Yeah.
The main and only commandment in the Church of Mo is whatever bullshit you're going through. I mean, sorry about you, and I empathize, gives you no right to put your shit on other people.
No, I mean, I can remember growing up. There was a friend of mine. I went to a different school than he did. We just went to the same church. And he was telling me one of the guys that he used to hang out with, on a regular basis, nothing strange or odd about him. I mean, outside of just being a teenager, got thrown in prison for violating I think it was a 5-year-old and deleting her. And then taking her wagon and walking her through town and dumping her on the other side of town. And he played like nothing, went to school the next day, just like nothing ever happened. And whenever they tied it back to him, my friend just said, if they wouldn't have put him in jail, he would be dead today. Because, none of the people that he would hang out with. I mean, the kid wasn't popular, but he wasn't like a complete outcast. Would have let him survive, even to trial.
No. And that's what I fear. Because it's a really human thing. We see these people, we want justice, we want it now.
Right.
And whilst our justice system is imperfect, it's still the best one we're going to get here.
Yes.
I mean, as long as we don't have any more activist judges. But again, vote Mo, screw Geneva.
Well, but see, that's what happens if you get activist judges, that people feel that there's no justice being done whatsoever. They will take matters into their own hand.
No.
And that's what we don't want in this country.
We don't want that. I had a story on Mornings with Mo today about a teacher in South Carolina who spent 6 months stalking an 11-year-old, and he got 3 years of prison time suspended and then 6 years of probation. And I'm like, sir, for the judge who was lenient, I'm like, judge, for his safety. And I'm not advocating, I don't want this to happen, but you better believe that if parents know that this man is around, he goes anywhere near a bathroom in South Carolina, near a majority of dads, it's over for this man. For his safety and ours, put him away. You are not being kind to this man. You are putting him in danger because no.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like this guy can just all of a sudden up and leave the state if he's on probation.
No, and it's not
And you wouldn't
like
want him to.
we know we have studied for years. The science is in. This is not a proclivity that goes away. This is not something that goes away. I cannot believe there are some people that never act on their urges, and I commend them for that. But this is as natural as me finding Mr. Mo attractive. This is for whatever reason, whatever mutation
is
or whatever
broken there.
That is where they are always naturally going to look. It's like if I see a nice rack, even though I have a pair at home in a jar, I'm going to say, God bless America and thanks for your service, ma'am.
Thanks for showing.
Enjoy them while they're perky, which is usually elicits weird looks. But I'm just like, again, ma'am, I'm speaking from experience. Enjoy them while they're perky. Oh my God, Shizzy. So in a squirrel moment, I forgot that I was dressed as the mother of ferals, and I'm just walking through Kroger as I do. And I'm getting all these looks and I'm like, what in the hell is wrong? I'm just, and then I'm realizing, oh, I'm cosplaying as an adult person in rural Indiana on a Wednesday, dressed up like Daenerys Targaryen. Like, okay, on balance, you may stare.
I did see the Targaryen look there. I was going to say something in your chat. I was like, no, I better not, because she seems like it was not an appropriate time. I was like, I just can't do it. It was pretty good. I was like, damn, Mo. I was like, I want to bring a dragon.
Okay, so I am totally going to be using this for my own personal gain. But Mr. Mo might have let me know. He's like, so he saw the wig this morning. He's like, you're wearing the wig. And he's like, I was looking on Amazon and there's some different costumes. And I was like, wait a minute. Are you saying that it's okay to indulge in adult dress up? And he was like, wait a minute. Yeah, yes, actually, these are the 2 outfits that you are totally okay to buy. And then come to me about the other outfits, but wait until we budget a little more. And I was like, welcome to the dark side. We've been waiting for you here.
You have finally fallen into my trap.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Oh my gosh. If you want to bring up some of those documents, we can go over some of those.
Let me pull those up. So this is actually so the Google Drive for some reason skipped over a bunch.
Okay.
So I don't know if those went, but this is basically just a download for documents that they subpoenaed from Washington State University. And it could be very possible. Oh, for the love of Cheetos, you guys can't see it. That would probably help just a little.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
I'm a professional.
On March 15th, 2023, received an email from AS from WSU containing a secure link through which I was instructed to download the documents provided in response to the subpoena issued to WSU. Followed the link and downloaded the documents, which I later attached to this case electronically. The files contained email correspondence, class schedules, grades, application paperwork, and various other miscellaneous documents. And this was, and scroll back up. What is this in regards to?
These are just, so it sounds like these are documents that they were getting from Kohberger School as far as any emails that he might have had. So his class schedule and probably any documents. So probably they had to subpoena it because of FERPA. And now they're finally getting it.
Well, and if they've released them because of FERPA, then I don't see why these documents couldn't be used in that lawsuit.
Well, I don't see why the parents couldn't have access to them now.
Right. Especially being that he's been arrested.
If they redacted the FERPA sensitive information.
Right.
I think that, but, I'm not a lawyer. Shizzy's not a lawyer. No. We just play one on the interwebs.
I don't even play one on the interwebs.
I'll be your third-party intervener, y'all.
I try to play smart.
So this is for Strava. This is a warrant for, I have no idea what Strava is.
Strava Kohberger warrant, is that his father's name?
No, his father's name is Paul, I think.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe Strava's like a cloud thingy or
maybe
computer
that's what it is.
Thingy-mabobber.
Okay. It is for, because it says it's for the Android, so it's probably a download mechanism to basically get all the information off of an Android or other computer.
Yeah. On February 23rd, 2023, I applied for a warrant for data associated with any Strava accounts linked to Brian Kohberger by recovery email, cookie, Android ID, creation IP, or any phone number with the following identifiers that have been redacted. I'm guessing they had all of his email address and his 4chan. This dude totally had a 4chan.
Oh, it's something at Strava.com. So it is some sort of like a server of some sort.
Let's see. On February 26, 2023, a warrant was granted and signed by Magistrate Megan Marshall with 14 days to serve the legal process. On March 1st, 2023, at approximately 10:40 or 24 hours, a warrant was served via email to Strava, and he then received an email shortly after the submission confirming the receipt of the request and assigning it a ticket. And these are all things that they do have to document. So all of the sort of Kohberger truthers that are claiming that Kohberger was set up by, are they at Mossad now, or is that Candace Owens?
I don't know anymore, because see, I don't have to listen to those people, because whenever somebody starts talking insanity, I just let them go ahead and talk all their insanity and believe what they want to believe. If you want to believe that, the frogs are turning people gay or something like that, then go for it. It's a fitness tracking app. Okay. Brian was patsy. Set up as part of some blackmail scheme.
I love your talk to text, the blackmail.
Blackmail scheme. Yeah. I like that. That's pretty good.
That could be true too. I mean, I've seen his selfies.
Yeah.
He seems like he needs a bull. Maybe we should ask Drex.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's ask Drex. Let's get him on right now. He can say sub or not.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we need to do that. We, instead of doing the match the person to their crime, match the person to their kink.
Oh.
Look, I already play this game at Walmart every day. This is how I go out in people. This is also why I giggle to myself all the time, and then I get looks.
Oh, I had finished that video that I showed you earlier, and I went upstairs and was laughing. My wife was like, "What's so funny?" I was like, it all turns to butt stuff. She's like, oh, what?
JKD Buck, I have told you this. I have a touch of the tism, not, just self-diagnosed. And the way I get through social things without getting anxiety is that I play slightly perverted games with myself. There's always Orifice or Extraction, which is the game you can take anywhere, basically wherever you are. Point out things that look like peens or, sphincters. Or uteruses, I mean, boobs, all of the body parts can play.
Body parts. If it looks like a body part, it's a play.
The extraction part of Orifice or Extraction is what might an ER doctor have to extract from a certain no-no spot. It makes going to Goodwill hilarious. You get to the tchotchkes aisle, you will not be able to look. You will get banned from Goodwill.
Yeah, because you definitely want to be wearing hand sanitizer whenever you go in that place.
And then the other one is, kinky profiles. You just guess everyone, their secret kink, like balloon animals, Furbies, Roombas.
Any number of things. You're like, I can see it. I could see it. You crack it.
I need to write a book. 100 Ways to People and get kicked out of Goodwill.
No, this is the problem with a lot of the truthers that come out there, and it's common. You'll see in the true crime realm that people fall into this realm of, there's no way, and you can show them evidence, put it right there, lay it out in front of them, go, here it is, and they still go, nope. Shoots and ladders. Nah, Mo pays peens and beans.
You guys, look, instead of resorting to bad behavior like Brian Kohberger, my maladaptive coping mechanism was to think of hilariously inappropriate, mental games in order to people.
Mm-hmm.
For your safety, I chose the light side.
Yes.
I am a benevolent ruler. Still, the best cult leader you've ever had. I mean, I am the only cult leader in history that's not trying to bang your wife. I am trying to take your money for my 100% for-profit charity, which is basically Mo's Wigs.
Way to let me down, Mo. Way to let me down.
No, I'm honest about it. I'm like,
not gonna bang my wife. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah. Now everyone has a Henry Cavill pass in the religion of Mo, though, so. It swings and roundabouts.
We're so bad. I'm gonna get you in trouble.
No, actually, so the funniest part of the whole thing, that my whole expedition into the people world, into the out, as I call it, it's a new Stranger Things for introverts. It's instead of the upside down, it's the out.
Yes.
And fuck that, 11 can go do that shit. Sorry, Shizzy.
You're awesome. You're awesome, Mo.
So I go to this cashier, and I have noticed that she has excellent wigs. And the one that she is wearing today is absolutely awesome. The only way I knew it was a wig is I know what I'm looking for.
Right.
And she's like, I love your hair. And I'm like, it's a wig. And she's like, oh my God, so is mine. And poor Mr. Mo is just trying to get through the Kroger line. And then she's like, look, sweetie, I hate to tell you this, but if you get the 7-Up here, this 12-pack, go buy 2 more and then 3 are free. So I have understood all of this information the first time. Mr. Mo is apparently listening to circus music in his head and has not got. So he's like, I was like, take the cart, go back and get 4 more 12 packs, whatever you guys will drink, because we're getting 3 free. And I was like, look, we're just, and he's
Just do
like,
it.
yeah. And ensues 5 minutes of Mr. Mo and I having the stupid ass argument. What do you mean go get? No, if you buy 2, you get 1 free. No, the lady in the fabulous wig just said we get 3 free. Please listen to me, listen to the lady. And then he decides to leave, just F on off without the cart. And I was like, okay, good luck with that. And then be still my heart, my muscle man, my rule he man. He done come up carrying 4 12 packs. I was like, honey, you have never been more smexy.
Don't need those cards.
And then he picked me up, and it was like Officer and a Gentleman, and everyone was clapping in Kroger, and they're like, go get him. And we're like, hell's yes, our seat goes fully back. No,
Wait until they see the video tomorrow. Or Friday morning. I have a new video I showed Mo earlier, but we'll show it on Friday.
yes.
That's what it looked like.
Yes.
Oh.
Let's see here.
You're on March 15th.
Okay, on March 15th. Okay, well, we received an email from Strava stating that the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available to download. On March 22nd, 2023, I logged into the law enforcement portal and began downloading the files to the forensic computers. In reviewing the contents, I found the user of the account had a DOB of 1994.
Yeah.
Okay. Logged into the account on July 31st, 2022 at 0908 from the IP at the address of blank. This IP address showed that it may be located near Swahomish, Washington.
Sammamish? Something like that.
Swahomish or Sammamish. Isn't that the place? Sammamish is the place where Charles Ng and Gregory Lake, they had the women in the boxes.
Oh.
So they basically set up a torture chamber, and Snohomish.
Snohomish. Okay.
It just
I'll
rolls
buy it.
right off the tongue. Where are you going?
Snohomish.
This is where Mo says something foreign. Look, I'm not offending people. Look, I cannot read. Hooked on phonics did not work for me, okay? I ain't offending no one. Because
that looks like something you would say to your wife. Go make me a sandwich.
True. Let's see here. The mobile device ID. Now, someone in chat said that whatever the Strava is actually a workout app.
Yeah, it's a exercise app. That makes sense.
And okay. And I found the 2 saved run routes, both located near or on the Washington State University campus. In continuing to review the data, I found the account was following no other accounts and only had followers after December 31st, 2022. A warrant return receipt and affidavit were completed, and these documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court, and all various and sundry perfunctory things they have to say.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that was just tracking him that way.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean,
I need a t-shirt.
Going to Furpa City.
And then when people ask me what it is, I was like, oddly enough, it's not related in any way to a fupa.
Then the next question they would ask is, what's a fupa?
To which I would say, behold, the next t-shirt of knowledge. Fupa and definition. There's a reason my mom doesn't mention me on the Christmas cards no more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a reason.
Now, this one I found interesting. It looks like there was a collection of knives found near the Genesee, or near Genesee,
Okay.
which I think was one of the roads
Right.
around the apartment complex.
So I was notified by ISP Detective Roberts at approximately 1300 hours on March 21st, 2023. The landowner near Idaho, okay, that's ID, found 2 knives in a roadside ditch. Detective Roberts was not available, so I called to speak to the reporting party. Stated he was cleaning out irrigation ditches when he noticed 2 kitchen-style knives with duct-taped handles in the ditch. Now, he did not touch the knives and notified ISP. He also told me where the knives were, and I responded to collect them. The location provided was in a ditch across the road from the driveway to something on Old Highway 95. I could immediately see the knives laying in the water and took several photos of the knives prior to collection. Upon collection, I observed one knife was a large butcher knife and the other was a small steak knife. The handles of both knives were wrapped in duct tape, and prior to leaving, I conducted one more visual search of the area and located a makeshift duct tape sheath in the culvert below where the knives were located. Now, the sheath fit both knives at the same time, and I collected the sheath as well. Upon further examination, neither knife appeared to match the wounds on the 4 victims. The larger knife blade was too wide to have inflicted the wounds on the victims, and the smaller steak knife appeared to be, well, too short. However, I booked both items, and in case further examination was needed, I booked the knives into the MPD evidence and attached photos to the case electronically. I certify, blah, blah, and blah, blah, blah.
And there's something, again, I mean, we go back to it, the truthers. You know, I go back to the Chris Wolfenberger case that I'm covering. Now, you can definitely say that that was a terrible investigation in that case.
Right.
But in this case, even though they aren't consistent with any wound patterns that this deputy knows about, he took pictures, took the knives, took the sheath, and brought it into evidence and logged it.
Right.
So
maybe they turn up in another case, or maybe it was just some kid was playing around with mom's knives and mom was about to bust him on it, and he just tossed him in there thinking he'd come back later and never was able to. I mean, it could be any number of things. And that's the thing that the truthers tend to forget is there was a full investigation on this. They had their guy. It wasn't like and all they were doing is taking him to court to confirm and make it legal. And
I will say that, you know, when this case first started, when they first brought Kohberger out of kind of nowhere, and there was that natural lack of information, I was really intrigued. I was like, okay, how did they find this guy? What do they have
out of
that
all
says?
the people?
Well, and because I know, look, I am very aware that I was deeply unsettled by Brian Kohberger, just his you know,
lack of empathy.
His flat affect, the way he stares through you, he doesn't engage. So it really is kind of
disturbing.
Yeah, it just was deeply unsettling. So I understood my own kind of personal bias there. So I actively was trying to work on, okay, I know he looks creepy, but that doesn't mean he is the monster they seek. So I was really trying, and it was hard because
I wasn't even in that same boat as you. Whenever they first found Kohberger, I was pretty much like, sure, the guy might be weird, but I'm not seeing that this guy did it. I mean, he's not fleeing. It's not like he's running or anything. He's just doing what normal people would do, going about their day, going about life, and he got pulled over because he was driving too fast or something, but they just gave him a warning because of the plates or whatever, and he wasn't acting strange or odd in any way. Does that make sense?
Yes, but there was an immediate look. I have family members that are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I'm used to a flat affect, but their eyes are alive. Brian's are completely dead. That alone was like, and if I pictured a person that was, because I read I read between the lines that this was an extremely horrific killing.
Right.
If I were thinking of someone that could do that and go on to post a selfie of himself, those are the eyes I would see. And that's where I was from the beginning. I was like, crap, no, you can't think that, regardless of. So I was fighting this kind of internal battle of, I don't see anything behind those eyes. And if ever there was a person that could go do this and then go on a jog, it would be this guy, in my opinion.
Well, and that was just that's you. I mean, that, and so having those kinds of, thoughts is not abnormal. I mean, you may have a better way of reading people than I do. I'm just saying that I'm looking at and whenever I first saw it, I was like, I this is what drew me to wanting to cover the trial and staying away from everything that was being said, because I came into this going, okay, this guy, they're accusing him of a absolutely horrific thing. I want to see what the case is actually going to look like whenever the trial comes out. This was something that I was going to be covering at night. It was like I can run a lot of these trials on ×2 speed and skip over like all the breaks and crap like that. Usually you can narrow it down to a 4-hour stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, so interested in, that seeing what they had on this guy, because I was like, I don't see how they could have, it makes no sense. It seemed too random to me.
Yeah, and then all of the controversy came out, and the kind of like, I just kind of label it under truthers, and I didn't want to get deeply pulled into either side, because my jam is usually, look, it's honestly to cover for the fact that I don't have time to watch every single pre-trial,
right,
and keep up with the intricacies. Some people can, I just can't. So but also I don't want to go in. I'm the stand-in for the jury. I don't want to know a whole lot. Right. So I try to go in pretty clear, because I knew this was a case that was going to be incredibly tough for me not to get emotionally involved. And so I didn't want to get any more information, because
Right.
I wasn't even sure I was going to cover the trial.
Right. I understand that. I knew this was something I was going to cover, and that's why I was staying away from, unless they would come out and say, this is where the status of the case is. Now, other than that, I pretty much stayed away from it. The day-to-day reporting on, what his bowel movements were looking like, I didn't care. It seems like a lot of these people are way too into that or something. I don't know. It's really odd.
And look, true crime,
like they could tell you what he was eating from day to day. I don't care enough about any trial that much. But if they want to, that's on them. Go for it.
And here's the thing that I wish true crimers would make clear, because I don't think people get it. They get into this sphere, and you first get into this sphere, and maybe you came in from true crime, and there are certain things that are totally okay to speculate about on true crime, but they aren't admissible in a trial.
Yes.
You can't say, Betty said, and he looked weird, and I remember him.
Right.
And their mom and them have never been right.
Yeah.
That doesn't come in.
No.
You can't take his astrological signs into account.
You can't take that he makes you feel uncomfortable because of his creepy look. You can't bring that into account. I mean, none of it.
No, and I knew I was physically incapable. Look, he looked right through you. That has always been the
Yeah.
scariest thing. I can deal with malice in eyes. I can deal with anger in eyes. I don't appreciate it, but when I see nothing in eyes, that is what puts my lizard brain like, move slowly toward exit. Make no
Yes.
fast movements.
Make no fast movement. Just okay. We're good.
Yeah, that's kind of where I go when I don't, and I've never really encountered it a whole lot.
You're right. But whenever you do, your flags are waving at you.
Like I said, like I have always said, y'all, I will be the one flippin' person that goes on national television, maybe in rollers, maybe not, depends on the moment. I always knew I had pegged him from perverts and profiles. When I was playing Walmart, I was like, I knowed it. Tell me, is he into BDSM? Look, I have a poll going with my chat. If anyone could give me any information, were there any food products molested?
I use a drumstick. It's about at work, but well worth it. Oh my God.
Oh, I thought I embiggened all of these. Okay,
No,
let's
no,
see.
you're fine.
Watch guard event. Now, doesn't say actually, just says evidence.
Okay.
On March 4th, 2023, Redacted called the MPD tip line and left a voicemail regarding a tip for this case in which she described a man seeing a man walk by her house at Redacted sometime during August or September of 2022. Sergeant Blaker.
Blaker.
Really? Blaker?
Yeah, Blaker.
In most America, he will be made to drop the L and just be Baker.
Or maybe it was supposed to be an E in there. It was supposed to be Bleaker.
Okay, so basically the tip was passed along. I spoke to Redacted via the phone on March 21st, 2023. I did not record our conversation. I asked Redacted to relate to me what her tip was in reference to. Redacted told me she used to live at Redacted. This home is located approximately 0.13 miles due east of where the incident home. Now, Redacted told me that she was home one day in August or September of 2022 when her daughter came running into the house saying there was a man walking through their yard. T stated that she looked out the window and saw a man who looked nervous walking on the south side of her house from east to west. Now, I will say the fact that he looked nervous leads me to believe that this was not Brian Kohberger.
Right. I would agree with that because he never has a nervous look about him.
Earth to truthers. Even if they thought, hey, this might not be the guy, they still talked. They still looked at every lead. They wrote it down. They made a report.
Right.
Read the documents. If you think the truth is out there and, the Unitarians and the Illuminati's got together to do this.
Yeah. Here's the thing. There's always a possibility that this never actually happened because this is also after the fact, because, if you continue on where it says, the rest of it, you'll see that this is like a hindsight kind of thing. And sometimes your mind does things that aren't quite, they didn't happen like you think they did.
No.
And I've had that happen before. My wife and I, we experienced the same exact event. And then after the event happens, like maybe a week or two later, I say something and she was like, well, that's not what happened. And then she says something. I'm like, that's not what happened. And
well, and I know as a mom, look, I'm guaranteeing that she, being a local, she knows how bad it was. And you think back to that incident and your heart your mind goes to, it could have been my kid. It could have been my kid, and I
Right.
want to help. I want to help. If this will help in any way, let me do it.
Right.
Let me tell people about it. It
Yeah. I mean, or it could also be that she did, that it was just somebody that bared a slight resemblance to him, not necessarily him. That they might have been wearing a mask, and it could have been a black man for all she knew.
Yeah.
But her mind, all of a sudden, she comes back to that, and she thinks that this was the person. We don't know. We will never know.
No.
But it is a way of, sometimes people will jump into these cases
Well,
that aren't, that just looking for some sort of notoriety.
Also, there have been studies done. I mean, I guarantee you, my kid runs in and said, "There's a weird guy in the backyard." At that moment, adrenaline, norepinephrine, and every single neurotransmitter has just gone up. My heart is racing. And when you are in that heightened state, your mind does not record. Your mind doesn't have the facility, the neurotransmitters left to actually record memory properly.
Right.
So, in her honest to goodness,
Right.
in
Not
it
it's a
very
bad thing. It's a good thing because,
well,
she's
yeah, but she could honestly, when she replays her mind or her memory and tries to be objective, absolutely see it is Brian Kohberger. It was totally him, and she's not lying,
right.
and she's not trying to deceive anyone, but because of that little quirk of our, keto anxiety machine up here, it's basically,
Yeah.
we aren't wired to make good memories when we are anxious.
Also in a fight or flight mode, that it generally doesn't happen. I mean, some people it will with. Some people can recall almost to the T. It's almost like everything moves in slow motion, and
Well, and then
it's
people that are in special forces that have trained themselves to be able to combat those things. I mean, there are people that
right.
are able, but I'm telling you, as a mom, my kid runs in, my ass is running out there with a rolling pin
force
while
multiplier.
No, a rolling pin, because Mr. Mo would then be yelling at me, "We have a force. What the hell are you doing? I'm going to kick me some ass. That's what I'm doing. I'm
going
opening a
Mo.
can of bitch fire, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going dirty Mo. I'm like, I hope you feel lucky, you some bitch, because I do." And then this face, and then the guy's like, "Please take me to prison." You know what? I'm going to go.
I'll go to prison. Whatever I need to do. Just keep me away from her.
This bitch is crazy. Sir, you're married to her?
All he's
What
doing
the
is like,
hell?
I was just trying to get my puppy out of her yard. Like, what the hell?
And then I'd be like, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry I gave you a lifelong traumatic brain injury. I'm going to bake you some brownies, okay? I'm going to make you some hash brown casserole, all right?"
He's like, no, I don't want to die.
Misery flashes before his face, and he's like, "You know what? No, I'm going to go to urgent care myself, ma'am."
Oh,
Okay, so again, basically, she was 92% sure that it was Kohberger, but as we discussed, with the
right.
or with the person that, what sticks out to her is that they were nervous. And look, in my armchair behavioral analysis of Brian Kohberger, he wouldn't have been nervous. He would have
Yeah.
automatically had, "Hey, sorry, I was walking. I didn't, mean to walk here," or
Right.
would have ignored them and just continued walking.
Yeah. Yeah. That I could see that happening.
She stated that she didn't see him any other times after the either August or September incident. However, she told me there was another occurrence in June or July of 2022 when a white sedan was parked near her mailbox for over an hour. Now, it should be noted that her address is a dead-end road with only residents. The person told me that the vehicle left her neighborhood, or her neighbor walked out to ask a man if he needed help. Oh, okay. left after. So basically someone went over and said, "Hey, why the hell have you been here for an hour?"
Or maybe
And
or maybe they were there to see the neighbor, and the neighbor just went over there and was just like, it's like, yeah, she's not coming out today.
yeah, that
Yeah, I mean, it could have been yeah, I mean, unless she talked with her neighbor and the neighbor could verify
well,
that that's what happened.
and I'm wondering if at this point in the timeline by March 22nd, the media had started putting out the white Hyundai and
Or white sedan.
or white sedan, and again, it could be have been Kohberger, and it could have been 900 other possible scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're not looking for that car immediately, it'll stand out that there was a white car, a white sedan. I mean, it could have been a Chevy Impala. You know, you never
Yeah.
know what it was. She just said white sedan.
Let's see. On March 22nd, 2023, Sergeant Blaker and I went to the area where the tipster said she saw the man. There is a well-worn path from Boyd Avenue through to Blake Avenue, which is likely where she saw this man. Now, in addition, I spoke to the neighbor who spoke to the man in the white car, identified only as blank at whatever, who stated he remembered the encounter but couldn't add any other further information. So,
Okay. So nothing stood out about this person. They were
yeah.
just, and it could have feasibly been somebody was just wanted a place to park
Well,
for a
and
couple of
it also
seconds.
could have been that it was 10 minutes and, T might be an HOA nag
Right.
who's like, your guest was parked within the community assets, depriving people of access to their, mailboxes. You will be sent a fine and a warning to make you understand how disrespectful that was. I'm here to help you grow.
Or they could have been waiting for somebody to come down the trail. You never know.
Yeah.
In any number of reasons. And this other person's like, yeah, nothing really stood out. I mean, I just came out and asked them if they need some help, and they were just like, no, I'm sorry. I mean, hell, it could have been somebody on their damn lunch break. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
It could have been an Hispanic guy because nobody identified him as that except for her.
It could be, I don't know if, let me do a PSA here real quick. For the heifers on Nextdoor in my neighborhood,
I hate that app.
Amazon subcontracts for deliveries. So should you see a strange vehicle parking and placing parcels, you don't need to alert the cavalry every time you see said strange video. If they stop in front of the neighbors and put a package out, I don't think they're casing the joint. I had to mute that. Every
My
other
wife was just like, oh, look, I've never heard of this thing before. There's like this thing called Nextdoor app. And we can find out if like someone lost their puppy or, events going on or something like
do you
that.
know what I call it?
Oh, no, what do you call it?
Bitch book or old people Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I mean, I got on that. I had the app or something like that, and I never got any notifications. I think it was there in case I wanted to. I think the only thing that would ever come up is like there was a dog or something like that. Has anybody seen Fluffy? What? It doesn't matter. And it was about the time of what's his face? No, what was his name? It was Saint Floyd. Yeah, it was Saint Floyd.
Oh,
that
God.
that everything started blowing up on my phone, and I was like, And then there was if you send me $100, I will get you a sign for your yard, and for the everybody can breathe or something like that sign, or I don't remember. And I was
And
just
Susie
like,
was like, unfriend group.
no, I basically left a really nasty message to the admin, because they have admins for it. I was like, I don't know what kind of shithole place that you're running here. I said, but the last thing that I care about is advertisements for signs for any reason. Political signs, apolitical, it doesn't matter. I don't appreciate.
Shizzy has a no sign in front of his house.
No, there's no
and that
signs.
pisses him off that he even has to have that.
Yeah. It says post no bells on the side of my house. And I've just, I think through all of that, plus you had the whole coof thing that was going on, and and my wife was like, did you see blah? I was like, on what? She was like, on the next door. I was like, no, I had deleted that thing months ago. She was like, well, why did you delete it? I said, because every single thing that I got was nothing but people arguing back and forth over the most mundane crap. Like,
it is the most high school place. Like, part of me liked
I
it
wish
for
you would
the
stop letting your dog pee in my yard. No words. No words.
I am marked safe now from next door. I took myself off of it because I don't care.
No. Have you ever seen that in the YouTube chat is? I can remove
I can interact
YouTube
and
chat.
Well, I've actually monetized, my YouTube chat, and I get nothing for next door.
Yep.
Not to mention, these people live close to me, and I don't know where the hell y'all live, but y'all don't make me pay a fee to live here, like some communist country. Although, caveat emptor, we shouldn't have bought in an HOA community, and we will never repeat the mistake.
Ever. No.
Ever. Vote for Mo. She will outlaw HOAs. If I don't get a bajillion write-in votes, I'm suing.
This is a none files attached to Spillman electronically. On Thursday, the 23rd, received a secure download link from AS advising another installment of information from WSU. I followed the link, downloaded the files. That's basically all it is. They just downloaded
and it looks like these files are more of his teaching assistance termination,
Right.
parking record, and housing records. I would be interested to see if he had any housing complaints, or was he very nondescript?
Wasn't there some sort of house complaints with old housemates or something like that?
I thought so, but
Because of
again,
his
I was
sleeping
trying to
habits?
stay away. I was trying to stay away from the trial stuff, so I haven't looked into it yet.
No, I think we covered a little bit of that. There was something about his sleeping habits that his neighbors were just sort of like, eh.
Oh, yeah, they were odd sleeping habits. Like he
Right.
would be active around 3 a.m.
Right. Yeah, I remember there was something about that. And it was just from the documents that we were doing, not anything other than that. But I guess that would be interesting to see if the housing had any complaints of him. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. All right. This is a Pullman PD injury accident video. So it looks like there was basically, this is how they first got turned on to Kohberger. There was this accident right near his apartment, and as he was coming back from the crimes, he actually got
And a fender bender?
no, he didn't get in the fender bender, but he was trying to get past it to get into his apartment. And we'll just read it because it'll make more sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. On 11/12, 2022, at approximately 23:40 hours, Whitcomb received a hit-and-run accident in the area of Redacted, Pullman, Washington. Multiple PPD officers arrived on the scene and blocked off the area where this incident occurred. The location of this accident was near the west entrance to the apartment complex near Kohberger's residence. Redacted was later arrested as the suspect in this case and booked into the Whitman County Jail. Redacted was booked into jail on 11/13/2022. And that's also important because a good defense attorney might say, well, maybe he hit and run into someone as he was fleeing the scene.
Right. Yeah, that would be something that a defense attorney would use.
On January 3rd, 2023, Redacted, the Pullman PD record specialist, sent me a link to ppdevidence.com so I could view and download the videos related to this case. I downloaded 35 videos which spanned between 11/12/2022 at 23:41 hours to 11/13/2022 at basically 3:25 a.m. A majority of the videos in this area of where the suspect vehicle was eventually located, Northeast California Street. I provided the downloaded videos to Detective Mowry so he could upload them to the evidence server. I later viewed the videos. I did not see a vehicle matching Kohberger's vehicle in any of the vehicles on Brandy Way or in the vehicles near the Northeast California Street location. The longest video recording on Brandy Way starts at 23:43 hours and runs for 1 hour 21 minutes. All of the videos captured on Brandy Way span from 11/12/2022 at 23:41 to around 11/13/2022 at 1 a.m. Brandy Way was closed off with cones and police tape from about 23:41 until 12:30.
Okay. So the scene can be processed
by Detective Sergeant Chris Engel told me that Northeast Brandy Way was cleared by 12:30. This included the west entrance to the apartment complex, which had police tape across the entrance. The east entrance to the apartment was still available to access the complex. While reviewing Kohberger's cell phone data extraction, I located a screenshot of the Whitman County Jail roster with the other person's information. So it looks like Brian Kohberger had looked up on his phone, who was the person that was caught.
Right.
Now, the last modified date time for that image was 11/13/2022 at 6:27 12 seconds p.m. This image was taken from Yik Yak. In Kohberger's Chrome tab history on his phone, I located that he searched Google for broadcastify.com listen feed. Now, Broadcastify is a service that you can subscribe to and get the local police scanner kind of first responders feed.
Right.
So of the Pullman Police and Fire Dispatch live audio feed on 11/13, 2022 at 12:26, a.m. Now, what's interesting about that is there are perfectly legitimate reasons that he could have a Broadcastify and look this up. So, again, that's why all of these things, all of these little pieces, they had to come together to form a case that the prosecutor said, you know what, I'm willing to stand and let a defense attorney ask those questions.
Right.
And explain, yes, there could have been a total reason, but given the totality of every weird craptastical thing he did,
right,
a reasonable person.
And people don't understand that's how you build a case. I mean, to build a case, you have to have very specific elements, and you have to be able to tie how those elements work together, how every single one of those items tie into the next. And you have to be willing to say, yes, this little piece of evidence that we have here, explain that one away. And then tie where, like once you tie all of these knots together, you end up with this really strong rope. Once you've braided all that stuff together, you end up with this really strong rope. And all it takes is those weak spots in there to not make it quite as strong until that rope will break. If you can take enough of those threads out of there, that rope's going to come apart. And the same way with a prosecutor's case. And all they've done is they've weaved all these in together, and they said, now go ahead, shred it apart. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're defending your person. And but if you have enough of those threads that are all tying together and pointing in one direction, and they're just so interlocked that, it doesn't matter which ones they cut, they're never going to end up being able to break that case. And that, I think, is
well, and that's the other thing, because I think there is that natural inclination, because we have good prosecutors and bad prosecutors. And, you can get into a mindset where you can see a lot of bad prosecutors and think, okay, every prosecutor is bad.
Yeah, it's not true, because you look at Rittenhouse's prosecutor, that guy was really bad. But then you can turn around and you can look at what was the prosecutor for, what's his name? Loves his Diet Cokes.
Theodore Edgecombe.
Yes, Theodore Edgecombe. You can look at that prosecutor, and I mean, he was so confident in his case that he's helping out the defense to actually defend, because he's just like,
Look, he's heard about the Kroger buy two get three free, and he was like, I swear to God, if I miss this deal.
I mean, he was a solid prosecutor.
He was, and that's the thing. You have to see every case as its own individual thing. Whatever was before. This, and that's the part of trials that I like. It's a brand new puzzle. It's a brand new thing and I always like the fact, except for look, God as my witness, I never thought the Karen Reed case was going to be the hill that people were willing to die on. It makes no sense to me. I would like someone to explain to me why everyone decided to go crazy for this case. Look, I get that it's intriguing, but like doxing people and starting internet blood feuds, I don't get it.
No, I don't get that at all.
So I get that, but where was I? Because I'm still confused about why Karen Reed is the thing. Look, I get it. The other thing, I found it back again. See, the train gets lost, but it usually comes back around again.
It gets back on the tracks.
When Mo's mental train will be on the mountain again. When will the idea come around again? No one knows.
Because it's Mo's.
Government blows. The idea will be coming around that mountain again. Mo the musical. I'm still working on it. Andrew Lloyd Webber. I could use some tips, but maybe nothing from Cats. Okay.
So what was the idea here?
So the biggest thing that I like about trials is that we can watch the same thing and have such diametric things. That has always been the thing I geek out about, how different people's perspectives, life experiences, color how they can view the same thing. It's the same thing that I geek out about politics, because I just love how we are all seeing the same events and coming up with such different perspectives.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so,
and the good part about a lot of trials, if you have the right people and have the right mindset, going into it, they can be viewing it in different aspects and come to the same conclusions throughout that trial. You know, they'll end up seeing things almost identical, like whenever they're happening. Like whenever a prosecution does something that's really janky, or a defense attorney does something really janky, everybody notices it and they go, that's messed up. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think I would have went down that road, but okay.
Yeah, like, well, that was a choice.
And it doesn't matter what side you're on, you're going, yeah,
No.
that was a choice.
Yeah. And I do think that this case brings up a lot of questions. So I understand the truthers because they're legislatively, we haven't really dug into what the, Fourth Amendment rights are for this ancestral DNA. That really hasn't been hammered out. So I also was interested about this case because this is a fairly new tool. The legislation is basically what they're doing it grandfathering in, DNA legislation, but we never conceived of ancestral, basically companies having their own genetic databases. We never foresaw that in the early to even the mid-range days of DNA. This is a fairly
didn't.
recent thing.
No,
I didn't because I didn't think anyone was going to be stupid enough to send their DNA to a corporation because I thought we all flippin' flapjack saw 12 monkeys and everything else. But no, my mother goes and buys a thing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, now I will never be able to be a criminal because now the government has my DNA. Thank you,
Great.
mother.
Thank you, mother. No, and I mean, I think it really stood out to me whenever my brother, who was adopted, did I think it was a 23andMe or something like that. And that's how he found out who his father was. His real father. He wasn't this Greek college student. Let's put it that way. He wasn't Greek at all.
It's hard when you have been eating gyros all your life, thinking you're connecting with your culture, and you should have been eating burritos.
Well, that's true. That's exactly what happened. Which he thought was pretty cool because he's a bartender, and so now he goes in and he's
So
just
now
like,
he's
"What's up, SA?"
He's like, Opa, ole.
No, now he's like, "What's up, SA? How's it going? How's it going, homies?" Which I just think is awesome. I'm like, this is so cool. I just it makes me love that man even more.
I know.
Just think it's cool. Oh,
Alrighty. So this is just a little one. It's about the CD of vehicle identification charts that the FBI used, because basically all they had to go on at first were, I think, from convenience stores. Kohberger's car was the only one that passed by there
gotcha.
during that time period or close to that time period that they were looking around. So they didn't even know what it was. And the FBI was like, enhance. I love that I assume that the FBI is like
Yes.
super troopers. Enhance.
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 Enhance. Come on. Rambo, stop it. But again, it just, I really have been, because I have seen, terrible investigations. I'm currently in the case from hell, Fulton County, with their incredible ability to let mice and cockroaches eat cocaine and marijuana and losing evidence. But,
if you knew Fulton County, you would understand.
look, I believe Fulton County is the main reason the aliens have not contacted us. I blame Florida, Wisconsin, and Fulton County personally.
Yeah, Fulton County is, I think, the most populous city in the state of Georgia. That way, and it's not very big. And you have to remember that Georgia is comprised of, I think it was 150, 131 counties, something like that, 151 counties. Most states, I think we're second only to Texas, I believe, something like that.
Shizzy, I'm just saying I'm probably going to move to Tennessee before I move to Georgia.
Yeah,
Look,
I
I've made
understand
fun of the entire Fulton County District Attorney's Office. I am not moving to Fulton County. I'm not driving through Fulton County. If GPS happens to take me anywhere near Georgia, I will be putting in... There should be an alert. Like, GPS should have an alert.
The
my
best
God,
part,
LawTube should make an alert. Like, these are the places that GPS should route
will
you
not
around.
go to. It's going to go around Fulton County.
Kenosha, Wisconsin. Wisconsin in general. No offense,
yeah.
Wisconsin. I know your Dells are awesome. Never been there.
I have.
I've heard they're awesome.
Yeah.
But have y'all seen your trials lately?
Here's the thing. I've been on the duck boats. They don't do the duck boats anymore, I don't think.
No, I think there was a big crash and yeah.
A lot of people didn't make it. Something like that, yeah.
Almost like you were tempting fate going out in something named Duck Boat and assuming you were safe.
Well, no, you would think that you would be, and you normally would be, except they didn't maintain them properly and they didn't ventilate them properly, and that's why it went underwater.
Shizzy. Things I'm not trusting. Any rides put together by carnies. Anything called a duck boat and ropeless bungee jumping. These are 3 ways Mo stays safe and avoids the Grim Reaper or the Darwin Awards, which I will fully get by choking on a gummy bear at some point, in the comfort and safety of my home.
Canton, Massachusetts.
Chat, I implore you, spread the story that I was attacked by a bear.
Yeah, just do that.
Just don't let people know it was a haribo.
On Tuesday, March 28th, I checked my official MPD email and saw I received 2 additional emails from AS from WSU. The emails contained instruction for how to access the 2 separate secure links and download installments 4 and 5 of the WSU subpoenaed documents. I downloaded each of the installments to my assigned MPD computer. Installment 4 contained correspondence between Kohberger and Professor D.M. and correspondence between Kohberger and Professor C.H. Installment 5 contained Kohberger's Cougar health records. I guess that's, I guess
I've seen his gym selfies. He's not a cougar. And I feel like there should be a class action lawsuit available since I had to see those. Also, including you, also Geraldo. For the love of God, put a damn shirt on. Look, the internet, forget corn warnings, forget spam warnings. We need a Caitlyn Jenner warning because, look, my tismy brain can't handle that voice coming out of that face now. It just does not compute. Mo goes into like...
No. It's because you're sitting there going, wait, Bruce.
Well, because you're sitting here listening to this very, feminine woman with this voice. And you're like...
Yeah. Who broke your jaw? What?
I'm like, you think you're fooling anyone? Everyone? Yeah. No one?
Yeah.
Again, class action lawsuits should be required for having been, non-consensually exposed to these things.
Yes.
That
I'm
being
with you on
said, my algorithm exposes me to a lot, and most of it I like. So, you win some, you lose some.
I lose a lot of them.
The accursed things that I am finding that I'm loving on my I'm just saying YouTube has sent, 5150 warnings.
Yeah, the best part is now I have to be careful what I show for Mo because, and what I show too, because one of them was my own damn fault. I shouldn't have shown that damn chipmunk video.
Damn the chipmunks. I told you, Shizzy, small woodland creatures are out to get me.
I'll show you one later. It's pretty cool.
Let's see. On Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, I contacted WSU PD Assistant Chief Don Daniels and requested all file information concerning Kohberger and the homicide investigation. Later on March 29th, 2023, Assistant Chief Daniels emailed me a link with the requested information. I downloaded this and attached it to the case electronically. And what we also have to remember is before the college is going to release any of this stuff, they're going to send it over to their legal.
Yes.
Their legal is going to maybe consult a bunch of case law to see, so they remain
What they
consistent.
can redact.
Yeah, so they can remain consistent with all the guidelines. I mean, and these guidelines are voluminous, they're tedious. There are reasons that are jobs that are just, compliance officers, keeping up with, subsection D, full plaid.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not easy because there's a lot that they have to go through. It could be something as simple as what is said. A specific word has to be redacted every single time. You never know. I mean, like I said,
I mean, there could have been arguments over, can we, keep the first letter? What is there? The college might have to have figured out their own redaction policy because,
right.
For all the things that they plan for, they probably never planned for a red rum investigation.
No.
Also the college has to consult legal because how far can we allow them to go? Is this going to spread out, from Kohberger to Kohberger's professors and getting into their, maybe personal documents about contemporaneous thoughts about Brian? Right.
Yeah, and that's not all that you're looking at with those is
now liability. They were probably looking down the barrel of holy shit, and again, everything is in hindsight. We can Monday morning quarterback this. I'm literally in my recliner judging people, but that's what I do for a living.
Yes.
Not everyone can carry this torch.
You do it so well.
I found my calling.
Yes, you did.
Who knew snarky bitch was a calling, but I always did.
Yes.
They just never allowed it on my college, on my, career
path.
Yeah. I was like, snarky bitch.
Yeah, they're like, no, if we allow that, then we're going to have mean bitch on there too. And we don't want to have her.
I was like, fine, whatever. I'll be a teacher. Could you imagine this personality molding young minds?
Yeah, I could. Hand jobs for all.
And that's what we would have come up to. So I'm glad for the safety of all, I keep it on the internet.
Jill Biden thanks you.
This responsibility has been given to me, Mo.
Yes.
Look, when the okayest story ever told, the Mo story, comes out on Lifetime, that's going to be the opening. And then there might be like an inclusion of a bunch of memes with me and Uncle Ben, talking. It starts out with that, and then it just cuts to me and a parody Uncle Ben, and I'm like, Uncle Ben, don't go, and he's like, Mo, remember, with great cuntiness comes great responsibility.
It'd probably be more like Marge Simpson. Oh, it's a great responsibility.
No, like Uncle Ben, Peter Parker's uncle.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Yours would probably be Marge Simpson, though.
No, okay. But it will be narrated by Morgan Freeman or AI talking as Morgan Freeman if he doesn't agree to.
No, we'll just get Yamaha to do it.
Oh, no, screw that. Sorry, Morgan Freeman. Love you. We'll talk to you about my next project. But we're going with Yamaha.
Yeah. Well, oh, speaking of, if you're not busy this Sunday, it'll be a little bit later, I think around 9, just because I have something I have to be at earlier that evening. Still need to talk with Yamaha to try to make sure he can make it, but we're looking at Sunday.
Awesome. I just loved when Yamaha and I got on together, and I was like, an expert occasionally wandered into the conversation. And we were both just irritated. I felt bad. I was like, oh, I've joined the dark side. But I'm like, sir, how can you notice a vent that was flashed on the screen for like 3 seconds, but you can't figure out where in the nebulous F we are in the conversation?
Oh, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. Next
time we go to Dollywood, I am dropping a bunch of toothpicks next to expert and expecting him to
count them. 96, 88, 88, 88, 246, 246. No, there's not. How many are in that box? 250. And then he goes 246, and she goes, oh, and there's 4 in the box.
Well, there's this whole scene in Bob's Burgers where Tina's like, I'm autistic, and Bob's like, you're not autistic, and then Louise dumps a bunch of things on the floor, and she's like, no, how many are there? And Tina's like, 3, and she's like, there were obviously more than 3.
Yeah.
And Bob's like, you're not autistic. No. And if anyone guessed who I would be if I were cast in Bob's Burgers, it's Louise. Mm-hmm. Was there any doubt?
No.
Or
doubt.
Or Linda. I'm gonna be honest. Linda would be my jam.
There you go.
All right. This is an anonymous call. Anonymous call follow-up. Okay, on March 12th, 2023, I received an email from MPD Corporal Testall, advising that someone had called claiming responsibility for the homicides. Now, the caller hung up without providing information. The number the call originated from was redacted. I searched TLO and requested assistance from the FBI in looking into the number. No available databases had any information on the identity of the caller. So for whatever reason, there are this group of weirdos that will call in and want to take credit for this.
Or they're doing it just to harass. They can get a rise. Oh, look, I found a new app that spoofs my number. Like, so the number doesn't show up as anything. Let me see if it works. Oh yeah, here, I'll do it here. And I mean, the internet does weird stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
but again, it is, in contrast to other cases, every one of these things, is being documented. And that's the other thing that people don't understand about why court cases take so long. The state and the defense both get to look at all of this stuff. Now, the state can has to share everything during discovery. If they don't, then that's
Yeah.
a Brady violation. But imagine, I mean, we've probably gone through reams of paperwork or and whatever nebulous internet number of magic
Yes.
that, you know, and they can only send so much over at a time. So, you know, a lot of the times, you know, the defense is having to beg for discovery. If you have a good prosecutor, they are giving you that discovery when, you know, they get it all collated,
Right.
and then send it over.
Yeah, that's not uncommon because also they may not have that information back yet. You know, and sometimes it just takes a subpoena or whatever to get
Yeah.
that particular piece of information. You know, if say for example you're asking for a document that's only on you know whatever court filing system they have, you're just like, it's like I'll get it there as soon as I can, but it's Sunday and they're doing server, you know, work on it. I can't get it for you. So, you know,
Yeah. And show me a court or a police department that apparently isn't running Windows 94, because there are always technical glitches like, oh, you know, this didn't file over, this didn't send over, or this was
right.
corrupted.
Oh yeah. You know, the whole disk drive, it was sitting in Fulton County and it got, you know, a rat pooped on it.
Pretty
Right.
much. This is another, and again, so they have to, there's always also this chain of custody because, and that's another reason it takes so long, because the defense attorney is going to be checking each item, and they have to go through digital evidence, they have to go through photographic evidence, actual evidence, figure out what they want to test, figure out, you know, what the budget they have, figure out what they're going to, you know, focus on. So it really is a lot more. A lot of cases are determined in this pre-work thing, in motions in limine. And if you're not used to watching trials, you might get in and say, well, wait, why can't they bring in this? Or, you know, pursuant to what motion? They didn't talk about a motion.
No.
It's because a lot of this happens before. And that's why you saw those heated pretrial hearings where the defense was saying, hey, you know, we haven't legislatively gone through this ancestry DNA kind of stuff. You know, we basically kind of taken for granted that this is open for use, but it hasn't been really enumerated out in legislation. Where are the Fourth Amendment considerations? What is, you know, fair game? What's not?
Yeah.
Is it fair game? You know,
yeah. Is it? And I mean, you can skip over some of these because it's just
Yeah.
given timelines on here. That's
okay,
a good
let's see.
one.
On March 29th, 2023, I received an email response from Reddit Legal Support in reference to my inquiry of the contents of 3 data files received, comment votes. So this did come out, and I did cover this in an article, but Kohberger had used Reddit to try to get a questionnaire that he needed done for his either senior project or dissertation. I can't remember which. And he used Reddit because that's where you'll get truth on the internet.
Sure.
And the email stated the following: Reddit is in receipt of your message and does not have a standard document outlining each data category. However, in response to your question regarding specific categories, comment votes CSV, this files relates to comments that the user upvoted or downvoted, if any. For more information on how voting works, please click here. Oh my God, I hate Reddit. We just don't hate Reddit enough.
I really
For
don't
more
like it.
information on polls, please click here. For post votes, this file relates to the post that the user upvoted or downvoted, if any, for information on. So basically, they kind of got a spam or a boilerplate kind of explanation back. And that means when they get this, they might need to change the subpoena because, again, Reddit is going to their legal and their legal is saying, okay, send them the standard thing. You know, we don't have to give anything out until, you know, they send a subpoena. And it has to be clearly enumerated what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got to think Reddit is also thinking of, you know, their security, their user security. I mean, some of the forums on Reddit, you don't want your identity coming out.
No, you really don't.
So there are all these different interests that are working, you know, for their own benefit and through legal. So it does take a lot of time, unfortunately.
Warrant on duty, contain another secure download, access the files, just contains student schedules for them, and chat logs from Microsoft Teams. So anything that was in those that you've got every single bit of it right there, just whatever chat logs that he was using on Microsoft Teams.
And we are actually going to stop here because when we do this again, we're getting to the point where we're going to get kind of into some of the actual text of Kohberger's dissertation and things like that.
Okay.
And I was trying to keep these at 2 hours because I get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm going to be doing I've got to go take a 1,200 pound log about an hour to go get it to a mill so I can have it slabbed out. It's massive.
Sounds heavy.
It is. It is. It is. It's heavy.
I love that sometimes my brain just tisms out because I want to say that sounds like sucks.
It does. Trust me.
And I know that's not the socially acceptable thing that you're supposed to say. So I'm just like,
but
heavy.
Who says I'm social?
No, but if I allow filterless Mo control all the like shizzies around, then filterless Mo will end up showing up when my mom is around, and that is
I'm a bad influence.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just have to remember who I'm talking to because if I get into shizzy mode, then I'll be like in Walmart. I'm like, and oh my God. Okay. So in the dismemberment case, there was this woman who was on the stand and she's like, y'all, let me tell you what, sorry, defense attorney, I do heroin. It is, I was probably high, you know, tell the truth. I'm upset that I am not high right now without realizing my volume or possibly that the content of this conversation might not be good for the produce section in Walmart.
While you're holding a cucumber.
That was wild. I made a clip because I was just like, ma'am, you do realize that you just confessed to, you know, kind of a felonious behavior on a witness stand?
Yeah. Yeah. Some people don't realize that.
No. She was like, tell the truth and shame the devil. I was high. I get high every day. I'm in fact upset that I'm currently incarcerated, so I cannot get high right now. I have the DT sweats. Like, that is paraphrasing, but basically the exact testimony.
I love
and
it.
I was like, you know, God bless Fulton County.
No, most people at this point don't even care anymore. They're just like, what are you gonna do?
Well, the evidence is long gone in the lockup, so
Yeah.
you know, also Hollywood. With the success of Cocaine Bear, why haven't you thought Cocaine Mouse and Cocaine Cockroach? Set it in Fulton County, have Seth Rogen voice the cockroach. Hollywood, hire me. I will make the most hilarious movies. And actually, screw that. Leave Seth Rogen out of it. He kind of annoys me.
Well, if you had him as a cockroach and Danny DeVito is the rat, that'd be perfect.
Yes.
And every so often he just
It'd be like Joe's apartment.
He just squashes the cockroach.
Yes. Literally in the transcript on the trial now.
Oh, sir, I'm on hearing every day.
Well, thank you guys for,
thank you.
First of all, persevering during our many, many multiple reschedules. Wednesdays have happened to be cursed up for me for the last couple weeks. So with rain or thunderstorms and stuff like that. But we are back on schedule. We are going to be lengthening the time out. So we'll be doing this in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, about 3 weeks. It'll be the week after after Thanksgiving, where we'll have a Monday. We're going to do a little bit more culty stuff, which
Mondays
will be
we do culty stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I have to bring out some of the old ones that I hadn't looked at in a while. And so we'll be talking about those. They're good.
Well, thank you guys for joining. I'm going to hop off now. See you later.
Bye, guys.